Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt from, I think, 2 years ago. It was from their Sparkle and Shine Mystery Quilt, and this is the colorway Pearl. So I'm finally finishing it. I've been quilting it a little bit today. I'm going to finish it hopefully this evening. I'm about halfway through, so if I focus, I can probably get it finished. But it's been a quick sew because my husband made me this awesome ruler to quilt it. So I didn't have to mark any of the straight lines. I just use this and go. So it's really nice being able to be like, hey, I need a new thing.
And I like designing new stuff. And the design wasn't all that difficult, but it was fun to do. So,
yeah, he made it for me a couple of days ago because I was telling him what I was doing on another quilt and that I was using one of the Flying Geese trim locks. And he's like, I could just make you something that would, like, probably be more helpful and you can do different sizes. And I was like, let's do it. Because I have a million quilts I need to finish, so something that'll make it easier is wonderful.
sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat because I inevitably
I need to
have
get it
fallen.
up for me. Can you swipe up for me?
Oh, yeah. Those gloves, they don't have like a...
Yeah, can you push play? Can you do all the things for me and all your things?
Yeah.
Hi, Sean. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Linda. Hi, Debbie. I think that's how you pronounce it. And then it's gone, so everyone else, hi to you too. So he put lines on this for me. They're 1 inch apart, and we still have the grips on the bottom of it, so I can just use the lines, and if I want to space 2 inches apart, 3 inches apart, whatever, it is there for me. And I actually told him he needed to just go ahead and post it on our website, because when you guys see how easy it is, you're going to want it.
Hey, so to be clear, if you have because look, I'm a horrible salesman. No one will ever accuse me of being a good one. If you have a Flying Geese trim lock, you can essentially use it for the same thing. That's how this whole thing came about. So there's no need to buy anything new. The difference is this is 8 inches long by 4 inches wide, so it's a little bit bigger than our largest Flying Geese trim lock. And I put marks at 1 inch increments so that you can always make sure that your straight line quilting is spaced evenly. So you can do, I'm hoping she hasn't done it yet, but you can essentially use the edge, both edges, to do 4 inches. And then I'll probably quilt my quilt like this, but I'll go 4 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches, 1 inch, and then back out again because I like that. But again, you can use, at least to make a straight line, you can use the Flying Geese. This just allows you to go a little bit further because it's 8 inches long instead of 6.5 by the biggest Flying Geese. And it gives you the ability to ensure that your lines are straight because there's multiple markings on it. But if you already have a Flying Geese, then go at it. If you want to buy it, great. But you don't need to. At least you don't need to do anything.
If you need it. Like me.
Okay.
I just like that I don't have to mark all the lines. It saves me time. I have 74 quilts to finish. I don't need to be marking all these lines. This just does it for me.
So, apparently I didn't start the chat, so it looks like I'm good now.
Well, you were having to fix everything for me, so...
Yeah, Sean, so we were initially thinking that it wouldn't need a handle, and I'm like, no, because when...
Yeah, I like putting my thumb there and helping push it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the same non-stick, or I guess it is sticky stuff, on the bottom so that it doesn't move, but even then, you just want to have something that you can, hold it in place with, so... and we had the trim lock handle, so I was like, hey, that's a perfect match. I like synergy. So, welcome, Jackie. Welcome from Australia. This is your first time watching. Live at least. Okay, so I don't have to give the spiel that this is,
We're who we are.
Yeah. Oh, well, Nancy apparently had a birthday, so happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday.
James.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Katie. Nice to see you. Hope everything's going well in Greenland. Pamela, welcome from New Jersey. What was I doing? I was doing some legal work earlier and the state of New Jersey came up. I don't remember why. Oh, it was in one of my classes. I teach law classes and business classes. One of my students was telling me she's from New Jersey, and we were having a conversation about that. So that's how.
Is it you? Are you taking a look?
No, her name was not Pamela. I forgot what her name is.
Well, you probably shouldn't say it on here.
I got like 60 some odd students. Like, I don't remember everything.
Well, and it just started too, so that class.
Oh, Nancy's birthday was Saturday. Well, good. I hope you had a grand birthday. Linda, it is in the online shop. If you go to our homepage for the shop, at the very top there's a menu bar. If you click on new items, it's under the new items section, and I believe we decided to call it the Straight Line Quilt Lock. Although, look, you guys helped us out with the trim locks with the name. If you have a better name than Straight Line Quilt Lock, which you probably will, I am happy to change it.
Yeah, we're not good at naming.
Yeah. So if you have a better name, please let me know. We're happy to change the name. It's just sort of the name we came up with because we're not very inventive people.
No. But you're able to put the link in there if you need to.
Oh, I am? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't know what I'm doing. So let me see if I can do that. There we go.
Oh, I'm sorry that he's leaving tomorrow, Katie. That's got to be hard. But spring weather. So we've been having really weird weather here. It rained, it felt like, for 2 days straight, and it was just water everywhere, and then
Sorry.
And then it got really windy.
It got so windy that there was a tornado warning. The winds had to be at least 60 miles an hour because
windy.
We have right outside our garage, one of our garages, we have a large, it's a, 150-gallon garbage can. It by itself, it weighs 50 pounds. And inside of it, I had probably another 50 plus pounds because I had a bunch of stuff from my shop that was getting thrown away. Point is, it was like 100 pounds, and it got blown like 5-10 feet away. It was ridiculous.
Crazy.
So
I hate it because we have trees all around our house, and I'm always worried when it gets that windy.
Yeah. Charlotte, nice to see you again. I know we had a conversation about shirts recently.
I was going to say, because I saw that come up in there, and I was like, that sounds familiar, but no, thank you. Because it was the last chat then, right?
Yeah, it may have been the last chat. I'm so bad at remembering everything. 45 degrees, Katie. That's like it's not my perfect temperature, but like 45 degrees is wonderful weather. I like anything basically between, say, 35 and 75 I can do, but I'd prefer, if I could choose, this is a good question. This is not a question that we have put in the chat for today, but if you could only have one temperature for the rest of your life, what would it be? I think
probably 65.
I would probably be 60 because for me at 60 I can still wear a short sleeve shirt and shorts. But if I wanted to wear a sweatshirt, I could. So for me, I think I'd do like 60. Yeah, I think 60 is where I would go. So I'm interested to see what everyone else would say.
Yeah. I think for me, it'd be somewhere in the 60s. Probably 65, but I see what you're saying with 60 because then I could wear my sweaters and stuff and still be comfortable.
That's awesome, Nancy. Congrats. I hope that in 12 weeks everything stays the same. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Linda's 70. Katie is 60.
Teresa
74. What are you doing,
that
Teresa?
Is too hot.
And Nancy's also coming in at 74. What's with the 74?
I bet they live in cold areas and they're like,
maybe.
But
it's funny to me, 74. Like I would default to 75, but I like it. So Danelle wants to go crazy. She wants 60 at night and 75 to 80 during the day. So I'm the other way, Danelle. I would do like 60 during the day, and I would do like 40 at night because I love having the windows open. Although we have some owls around here that sometimes you can't even if you have the windows closed, all they do is keep you up all night. I feel like it's that scene from My Cousin Vinny where he's like, "Oh great, I'm gonna go out into this cabin and finally get some sleep," and then there's an owl out.
Oh, I should say before I forget that I am going to be on Sean's live on Saturday morning. So it's the guy who sews. So if you are able to in the morning, you should hop on his channel and chat with us live.
I get that, Teresa. Although I'm not a huge gardener, so my question to you is the stuff that we have grown, and we grew in Michigan, we can't really grow much here in Texas because the soil's horrible. And you can't find good soil to do a raised bed. But do you really need heat to grow certain vegetables, or is it just sunlight? Because you could have 60 degrees with sunlight all day. But I don't know enough about gardening to know if actual temperature is required for certain stuff to grow. So Laura, she says that she's in Gilbert and 70, 75 is jeans and sweater weather. I went to college in Arizona. And so, yeah, I lived in Arizona for a couple of years. I completely understand that. I really like Arizona. It was fun living there. A lot of stuff to do outdoors. Really enjoyed that. Jean's coming in at 63.234. I like the cut of your jib, Jean. I like that.
So if you all need some show recommendations, we love game shows, and we started a new one called The Floor. It's, I don't know if the host matters to anybody, but it's with Rob Lowe, and I find him amusing. But the show is so good if you like trivia stuff. I love trivia stuff. I'm not good at trivia stuff, but the show is really fun, and it makes me feel smart because a lot of the stuff is fairly easy.
Yeah, it's an interesting show. So they choose a category, and what they do is they put images up for the contestants. So if the category is bugs, there'll be an image of an ant, and you have to say ant, or it'll be a boll weevil, or whatever it is. And contestants just keep going back and forth until they don't know the answer, or they run out of time, I guess.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
It is. It's and like my wife, I like Rob Lowe. I think he's funny. He's a good host.
Yes, Linda, the measurements are from, it's from the edge of the ruler over, because if it was from the needle over, everybody's walking foot's probably going to be slightly different. So the measurements are just what's on the ruler. So these aren't actually 1 inch apart because it's from the needle over to the line, if that makes sense.
But the lines will be equally spaced as a result.
Yeah, so your spacing is going to be even because it'll always be the same distance away.
Yes. And if anyone has any ideas for different sizes, or if you want a custom size for some reason, just let me know. I can make it. It's easy to do. If you want one that's 12 inches long by 2 inches wide, I can do it. You just have to let me know. But we decided 8x4 made a lot of sense because it gives you enough length to go in one pass.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be off the edge of my table here, so that was why I gave him that size.
And obviously we didn't want to go more than 4 inches, because even at 4 inches you're kind of stretching the ability to
hold it and control it.
Before I forget,
Mary likes the show. It's so good.
Yeah. Sonia wants to know if you're going to do if you're going to go across too. So in both directions.
On this one I'm just going to go across. I have 74 quilts to finish. So I'm probably not going to finish them all. I have been talking to a coordinator. I think that's what she said she does. But she's with the Linus Project here in Houston. And so I'm going to try to get with her to get some of my quilt tops to her to finish. And so my plan is to, at the beginning of February, update what I've got done, what I donated, all that sort of stuff. And do that throughout the year after each month ends. So I don't really have 74, but I think this looks really good with just the lines this way. If I go wider, I'll probably do one in both directions. I actually have one that I quilted last week that I did that I went in 2 different directions. And I'll show that when I do my update video on what all I finished.
So Leanne, welcome. I love the Finger Lakes region. I am a huge fan. I love Cornell. I almost went there for college. But I played baseball in college, and Cornell's an Ivy League school. And while I got admitted, they don't do athletic scholarships, so I would have had to pay, and that made no sense because I could go to other colleges where I didn't have to pay. But I love Cornell. I think it's a great town. And that part of the country is so beautiful. And at one point when we retire, that will be seriously in consideration of places that I want to retire. I'm more likely to choose a state with no income tax. So probably won't be New York, but I really love the Finger Lakes region. So where are we here? Lindsay, yes. So the plan is it every month?
Yeah.
At the end of every month, she is going to make a video recapping everything that she finished, which hopefully will be more than 1 or 2 quilts. But yeah, at the end of every month, she will do a recap video of everything that she has completed.
I have 1 quilt finished so far, and then I have this one that I'll almost have done. I might be able to finish it tonight. If not, it'll be quick to finish. I don't have too much more on it. But then I have 3 others that are quilted and just need binding. I have the binding ready for them, so I'm making some pretty good progress, I think.
So Danelle wants to know how the Rose FPP is coming.
So I got the layout for one of the section that I think you probably saw Donna finish. I have the layout for that, and I have a few more pieces that I need to finish for the layout, but I have most of it done. I'm looking at it, sorry. So I'll have that one finished, but it's slow for me because I'm not too savvy with foundation paper piecing. But I'm almost caught up to where Donna was on our live. These are Gorilla gloves. Gorilla Grip. They're from a hardware store. I love them. They fit my hands a lot better than any other quilting gloves that I found. And I like that they're covered with grip rather than just on the fingers on the ones that I had before.
Yeah, I feel we got them. Did we get them at Home Depot or Lowe's?
I got them when we were at Lowe's, but I'm sure that they're in my Amazon shop, I think.
I just checked. I didn't see them in there.
Oh, okay. I thought I put them on there, but yeah. I love them. They come in a lot of different sizes, so I was able at Lowe's to try them on and get the pair that fit me the best, and I really like them.
Yeah, they're great. I use them for working in my shop sometimes because I always wear gloves when I'm working with power tools. But
These are so comfy.
They're comfortable. They and probably not so much an issue for quilting inside, but they're breathable, so your hands don't get really sweaty. And if you get the right size, they're not really compression fit per se, but they don't give you a lot of extra space in your fingers. So if you're working with power tools, they're tightly fit so that you don't have to worry about getting something snagged on a saw or something of that nature.
Linda, I usually try to start in the middle of the quilt, work to one end, then flip it and work from where I started in the middle to the other end. This one I was a little off because I didn't want to mark with anything to get my first line. So I think I started right here because it was a seam that went almost all the way to the edge of the quilt. So it was a little off from center, but it was close to center. But I like to work as close as I can from the center out so that I can smooth along if I need to when I'm quilting.
So it actually looks like the Gorilla Grip gloves are a Home Depot product. Not
Oh,
a
maybe
product.
we'll.
So
I mean, we go to both a lot, so
yeah, here
I guess that makes sense.
I'll put a link in the chat. They're great. So if you're interested in them, you can definitely definitely try them out.
Yeah, I don't think they're really a better price than getting quilting gloves, so I don't think you'll really save anything, but I think they work really well.
They're $5.97 on Home Depot's website.
Oh, then they're probably cheaper than.
Yeah.
It would be so, like me to find a cheaper alternative. It annoyed me with the one that I had before. They were, or maybe I shouldn't say because I shouldn't talk bad about it, but they got a hole in them pretty quick, the quilting gloves that I got, and that just annoyed me. And these are just, I mean, they're really thick. It's like a rubber all the way across the palm. So I just feel like they're probably not going to wear out as fast as the other ones did.
No.
And you use them for, like...
I use them for everything in the shop.
So...
I just wear them all the time.
Yeah, and they hold up.
They do. And that's sort of one of the... Because you have a video about, like, fun things you can buy at a hardware store that you can use for quilting. There's a lot of stuff that you can buy at hardware stores that are multi-use, so you can use them in quilting, but they're a lot cheaper because they're meant for something different. And because they're meant for, hardware usage, they're just generally better from a standpoint of how long they last. I'm trying to think. There was something that we found that was amazing, and I just don't remember what now.
Where? At the hardware store?
Yeah, there's something that we found.
I was really so I am cheap. And I was really annoyed when I was with him at the hardware store, and he was buying these big magnetic bowls for like screws, nuts, bolts, whatever, and they were so much cheaper than the ones that you get and bigger than these. Why do I have bobbins stuck next to the next bit? I was like, that is not right.
Yeah,
and I didn't buy one for me because I already have a bunch of them, so there's no point to. But I was just, if you need something like that, look there first.
Oh, that's what I say. So we, like these things right here that you use for ironing.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
These are very expensive. But if you go to a horse supply store, this is the exact same stuff, the felt, that they use for saddles. So we bought like a 4-foot by 2-foot piece of this for like $20.
Yeah. And that's what I cut in half to make my pressing area that's over there.
Yeah, they're so cheap. You just got to find fun places to go like that are selling things that you would use for quilting, but because they're meant for horses or the workshop.
Now you're giving away my secrets, and that stuff's not going to be cheap for me no more because everybody's going to be buying them. Yeah, the wool mats, and you can get them pretty thick from the horse and feed store too.
Yes. Welcome, Julie.
No, I've been taking out pins. This side's all finished, so you don't see pins there, but you might be able to see them every now and then. I've been pin basting because, again, I'm cheap. And I don't want to buy all that spray base that I'll need for all these.
Well, congratulations to Tracy and Nancy both, who it appears have their wedding anniversaries on Saturday. 19 and 45 years.
Yep, they are wool. They're wool pressing mats, and yeah, it was really easy to cut them. I think, did we use, what did we use? I don't remember, because it was a while ago that you helped me cut
I think
them
I may have just used like a regular scissors. I think I may use the kitchen shears.
Oh, yeah, those fancy ones that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were really easy to cut.
Yeah, as long as
and they have them in a lot of different sizes, so
yeah, you don't have to just buy the 4-foot by 2-foot one we did. We just bought it because the store that we went to, that's all they had. So
yeah, they have them in different thicknesses and different stuff too, because I think what they use them for is under the saddle.
Yeah.
And so, So yeah, they've been. I really like using it.
Cindy wants to know if you need to do anything different when you use the minky backing rather than cotton backing.
I didn't do anything different. Just don't press it. It'll melt and it will push out those little bumps if you get the ones with bump in it for the minky. But and if you need to iron it, you want to do it on a really low setting because it's a lot of I think it's polyester in there and it can burn and warp. But I don't do anything different when I've used minky. It's not my favorite to work with, so I've only used it a few times on the back of baby quilts, but I haven't done anything different when I've used it. Just know that when you cut it to size, you are going to have that little fluffy stuff everywhere.
Welcome, Siberian Wind. We are glad you caught the live too. I have to ask, are you actually in Siberia? And if so, how the hell do you have internet? And if it's a secret you can't tell us because you're a CI operative, we get it. So
if no answer, we know. I feel like you picked some really good questions this time. So
I did. I'll get to them in a second. So Alexandra, I don't know that horse and feed stores are all that common in Texas, but we literally
there's
literally
one right down the road.
If you look out our front window, there's horses strolling around there. And honestly, just the entire.
What is that?
We live at the end of a road.
Where
There's
did it
horses
go?
everywhere.
Thank you.
Right there. It's a sticker. So I don't know how common they are in Texas, but because we live in the middle of nowhere, and literally our
There's a lot
neighbors
of
have
farms.
horses that they'll ride to the store. There are a bunch around here.
Yeah, so the road that's the easiest for us to use to get out. There's 2 lanes, really narrow. And if I forget and leave anywhere on Sunday in the morning, it is so annoying because a lot of them will ride their horses to church, and they're all across the road. It's amusing, but you just have to know that you're gonna not get to where you wanted to on time.
Yeah, but it is kind of cool because horses are beautiful, but they just take up so much space. And the road because we live in the middle of nowhere, the road that comes into where we live, it's technically 2 lanes, but it's only about wide enough for 1.5. And it gets really so frightening narrow when you've got a car coming at you and going there. But when you throw horses into the mix, it gets a bit crazy.
And there's really nowhere for them to go off the road either because there's just ditches.
Yeah, they're just if you go off the road,
steep.
You're falling into a ditch and your car's going to be damaged badly. It will be totaled. So, but so questions. Let's see where we're going here. So kind of feeds into the temperature thing. Which season of the 4? I know Texas doesn't really have 4 seasons, but. Which season of the 4 is your favorite? Mine is, in Texas, my favorite season is winter because it's the only time that there are bearable temperatures. At least where we live. Obviously in Lubbock and other areas of Texas, the weather's a lot better. When we lived in Michigan, or honestly anywhere in the Midwest, fall is by far my favorite season. But here in Texas, it has to be winter because it's the only time that I feel like I can wear warm clothes.
Yeah, so Teresa, it depends on the area, right? It depends on what is going on. Here, there is a feed store really close. There's probably actually a few.
Yeah.
But mine's fall as well, anywhere but here.
Yeah. Siberian Wind, who is in Wyoming, likes winter. Winters, depending on where you are in Wyoming, winters can get harsh. I had a good friend who was from Casper. And I was out there with him in winter one time, and it was nuts. We were out there in January, I think, and feet of snow. But it was fun because he had, he didn't. We went to visit his brother, but his brother had a couple of go-karts that had been converted to snow carts, if you will. So we just raced around the property in those. It was fun. But it ended up getting so cold that the fuel lines froze, and so we couldn't drive anymore. Teresa likes spring and fall. Spring is great, but again, in Texas, it's horrible.
It's summer and winter here.
It's summer and oh look, we get 3 days of winter.
No, it's more than that. It's just doesn't feel like it because it gets so hot fast.
Donnell says in Tennessee it was spring, but in Michigan it's fall. Yeah, I miss all the cider mills and all of the fun things. The pumpkin patches, like you could actually go and cut down a real Christmas tree from a real place. It was fun. So, oh, she's in Casper. Yeah. Oh, so you just moved from Alabama. That is a big difference.
Who just moved from Alabama?
The Siberian Wind. She moved from Alabama to Casper.
Oh, so I see why you would like winter, because it's so beautiful. I mean, it really is pretty. It's like just a lot of work to clear all the snow when you need to, but...
That's a good point, Laura. Laura raises the reason that fall is good is not just because of the colors, but also football. That's very, very smart. I completely agree.
Yeah, you quite enjoyed that last game, right?
Yes. In case any of you missed it somehow, my alma mater, Michigan, we won the national championship on Monday, and we won it in dominating fashion. So I'm floating high on that win. Although I have a feeling that Jim Harbaugh is going to leave Michigan to go coach in the pros, which is fine because we have our offensive coordinator who hopefully will be the
Why is he going to leave? He used to coach pro. I just thought he would.
Well, he got to the Super Bowl when he was coaching in the pros, but he lost to his brother by 4 points, and it was it was a goal line stand. Now that he has a national championship as a college player, I think he wants to win a Super Bowl because he's very competitive. That is true, Laura, that summer in Arizona is a lot less busy than other times of the year. And honestly, I don't mind the heat in Arizona because it's such a dry heat. Like I'm totally fine. Like, I'm not going to go out and run a marathon or ride my bike all that much when it's 110 degrees, but 110 in Tucson, which is where I lived, I'll take 110 in Tucson over like 85 in Houston any day. Any day. Because you can at least walk around and not feel like you're dying in 110 degree heat when it's dry. But here, you walk out and you're wet immediately, and it's just horrible.
I didn't cut all the way through that.
Well, Lindsay, no one's perfect. It's okay that you're a Notre Dame fan. We at Michigan support your choice to follow a team that is not as good as us.
Jesus.
Have a great evening, Debbie, and enjoy dinner.
I shouldn't have worn a long sleeve since I was going to have a quilt on me this whole time.
Yeah, I did see that. Although, honestly, to be fair, Laura, Iowa can't score points. And if I'm not mistaken, they lose like 31-0 in the bowl game to Tennessee. I know they didn't score any points, but Iowa just doesn't score points. I don't understand how they won 10 games this year without scoring points, but they somehow did.
It is so humid here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. We lived in Florida, and I don't have empirical evidence because I haven't actually looked at it, but from just my personal experience, the heat and humidity in Florida is so much better than it is here in Texas.
But we did live in Tampa, and you get the breeze from the So I'm sure there's other areas, but where we were, I found it much more bearable. I mean, we were outside with the kids like all the time there. They were little, and we were always at the park playing outside, doing all kinds of stuff. And
but
here you don't want to go outside in the summer.
No, you definitely don't.
At least I don't. I'm sure some people like it, but I don't. It's not for me.
Sylvia says she grew up in the Mojave Desert, and she also lived in Corpus, but she will go back to Mojave, but not the Corpus.
But in the desert, doesn't it get cool at night at least? Like here, it doesn't even get cool at night.
Yeah.
In the summer, it's just awful all the time.
So it does generally get cooler in the desert, but like if I recall correctly, it may be 105 during the day. It may get down to like 75 at night.
That's cooled down when
Yeah.
it was that hot.
Here in Texas, it'll be 104 during the day, and it'll be 97 at night. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Welcome, Jackie from DVD Stitch Art. I like Stitch. Well, I don't know exactly what you do, but I like the, what is it, needlepoint?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like needlepoint.
Like embroidery, all that.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff. So question number 2, I'm going to skip to question number 3 because this is my favorite. What is your favorite cooking tool? And it can be anything. It could be a spatula, or it could be a device like an air fryer. Mine is, I know what yours is, and I know what my favorite for you to use is, but my favorite is cast iron. I have cast iron. I have multiple cast iron pans, but I love that once you break in a cast iron pan and you season it perfectly, you can use it to cook anything. I've cooked eggs in mine. I cook steak in it all the time. You can make amazing grilled cheeses. Excuse me. There's just nothing like a cast iron pan when you're cooking. And it's just they last forever. And if they ever, if you ever wash it wrong and it messes up and it loses its nonstick properties, you can just reseason it and you can pass it down for generations. I'm a huge fan. I love cast iron. My favorite for you to use is the pasta maker that you bought me, because it makes the best pasta. I think I've said it before. Like, we used to make handmade pasta, and it's a 4 or 5 hour commitment because of the way that if you're doing it traditionally like they would in Italy, the pasta machine she bought makes pasta in like 10 minutes, and it's 98% as good as the hand-rolled pasta. So it's like, yeah, you can get slightly better if you do it by hand, but you don't have to take 4 hours to do it. So that's my favorite for you to use, because I think I maybe used it once, but you're usually the one that makes the pasta.
Yeah.
I make the meat, she makes the pasta. What's your favorite?
Mine is probably the stand mixer you got me, that you finally got me, because I broke so many KitchenAid stand mixers. I think it's because they aren't meant to be used as much as I use them, because I like to make homemade bread. And so he found me one that is like heavy duty and supposed to last, and it has been going strong. So
Yeah, we had that for a couple of years now.
yeah, and as much as I like to make bread, I do not want to have to knead it for by hand as long as it has to be kneaded. So
Yeah, the bread machine we have is really good too.
it is, but like you can't make I can't make the hamburger buns that we can make the dough for it, but
Yeah. A lot of crock pots. Judy is a crock pot girl. Jackie, crock pot.
I cannot use a crock pot to save my life.
She's broken. We don't even have one anymore because she's broken every single one we had.
Yeah, I told him to just stop buying them. I was like, stop buying them, because I don't know what's wrong with me.
Siberian Wind wins this question.
Yeah, I saw.
Her favorite cooking tool is her husband, so that she doesn't have to cook. That's genius.
I'm with you on that, because he is a much better cook than I am.
That's because when I was like 8 years old, I had to learn how to cook myself because no one was going to make my food for me. So.
Well, you're still, either way, whatever reason it is, you're still a very good cook. I can make bread. I can make all the bread, all the starch, like things like that is needed. But if you want me to cook you a steak that's edible, it's just not going to happen. Chicken I can cook.
Yeah, I don't do chicken well. I can do it, but she's a chicken master. It's amazing. So, like, crock pot is like the clear winner. Like, every other person, maybe more than that.
I wish I could make something edible in it, but it turns out gray and looks like it should be cement or something. I don't know what I do, but it's not edible whenever I use one.
So, okay, Anne saying she's very new to quilting. Well, welcome, Anne. If it makes you feel any better, I'm still trying to finish my first quilt, so I am new to the quilting game as well, or at least doing it myself. My wife's been doing it for 30 years. So the the device my wife is using right now is it's got some non-stick. It's got some material on the bottom that is specially made for us, and it is it allows you to put the device on the quilt, and it won't move. So unlike a traditional quilting ruler, which moves around if you don't keep holding it, this sort of stays in place, and it allows you to sew up against the edge with your presser foot so that you have a straight line. And there are lines on it, the device, that allow you to space it out by 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, or 4 inch if you use the entire width. So it's not a necessary tool. You do not need it to quilt. So if you're a beginner and you're not comfortable, you don't have to buy it. It does help make your quilting lines straight if you are just going to do straight line quilting, which is a very easy thing to do, and it's probably the easiest way to ultimately quilt whatever you've made, because you just go in a straight line. You don't have to do any crazy lines or anything like that. So
yeah, so you could just draw your lines on if you wanted to with, there's a bunch of different marking tools out there that will go away after you wash it or go away from heat. There's chalk. There's a lot of different marking tools you could use to put your lines on. Some people use like painter's tape. They'll put it across and sew right next to it. What else could you do? You could just follow the seam lines on your quilt. Just wing it and have wavy lines. I've done that before. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways you could quilt your quilt. Just this one has lines on it, so I just line up the 1 inch line with the stitches I did before, and I'm sewing right next to it. Now, just so you know, this is a 1/4 inch thick. So a thinner ruler that you have, you may not want to use because it could slide under here and get under where the needle is, and your needle will break hitting it, and you don't want that. And I am actually keeping this up against the side of this plastic part of the walking foot. I'm not putting it up against like the foot of the tool. I don't know what it is. I could say foot so many times. Yeah. So my feed dogs are engaged because I'm just doing straight line. I'm not doing like free motion or anything. So that helps keep everything nice and even and feed through too. But I really like doing it this way when I'm just doing straight lines because I can finish this quilt really, really quickly because I'm not having to mark lines or anything like that to get them relatively straight. And if you've been on my channel for any length of time, if I'm talking right now and this is going sideways and isn't completely straight, that does not bother me. If you need them completely straight, if you get distracted easily, if you're watching TV, listening to an audiobook, and this moves and you're not completely straight and it bothers you, may want to mark your quilt too, and follow a line and make sure it's exactly straight. I'm fine if it's close-ish. So.
So Alexandra says that one of her favorite tools is a Kenwood mixer that was passed down from her grandmother.
Oh, nice.
That's what we have. We have a Kenwood, and we bought it 2 or 3 years ago. But it is far superior to any KitchenAid we've ever had. And I think it was cheaper too. I don't actually think it was.
You're like, why did I buy all these really expensive ones for you to break? I just ran the motor out on them, you know. Yeah. Well, except for one. One, I broke the glass bowl to it. And
we couldn't find a replacement for some weird reason. Sylvia wants to know, do you start your quilt line from the same side each time?
The quilt line. Oh, yes. And a lot of people say not to do that. They'll say to switch back and forth. I don't bother with it because I don't care. I've never seen... I did it before when I heard I was supposed to do that, to be honest. I did it, and I didn't notice a difference. So I just do it this way because it's easier.
So to anyone who asked, yes, the device my wife is using is available in our online store. Here, I'll put a link to it in the chat so that you guys don't have to try and find it.
Oh, the dishwasher is a good one, Teresa. I'm going to have to amend my answer. If I had to hand wash all the dishes we go through every day, I would probably never get to have a quilting channel.
Yeah, I disagree. I actually find washing dishes manually cathartic. Now, we have a dishwasher, so I don't do it. Because I don't have enough time, but like I would have no problem hand washing everything.
I will say if it was just me and you, sure, I would probably be fine doing that. But
Yeah, so one thing that my wife will probably attest to is, and look, I try to be the best husband ever, but I'm not great about cleaning up on the house on a regular basis. But when I clean, it is like down on the floor, picking everything up with like tweezers. Like if I'm going to clean something,
if he does anything, to be fair, he is going to do it right the whole way through.
So if I were to clean, when I clean dishes, like I'll sit there and agonize over whether or not there's a spot in the light that's, there's a bad reflection. Like I enjoy hand washing dishes. I just don't do it because we have a dishwasher and there's no reason for me to do it. But if we didn't have a dishwasher, I'd be all for it if I had the time.
This is where we're the complete opposites, because I am let's make the house appear to be clean, and he is not like that. And I'm not a detail oriented person. I'm a get it done person.
Glenda, sorry, I missed your question. It is 8 inches by 4 inches. And it's a 1/4 inch thick. It's the same acrylic that we use for the trim locks and for the slide locks.
And if you have a ruler foot for your machine, you could use this for that type of ruler work as well.
I think I know the answer, babe, but where did it get asked? Wash your hands wanted to know if you started quilting in the middle.
Yeah, I started quilting pretty close to the middle. So because of all the shapes on here, and I don't want to say lazy, because I'm not exactly lazy, but I didn't want to have to mark a starting line right in the middle. So I found a place on the quilt where seams went all the way across, and that's where I started. And then I started marking out from there using the ruler. Sean, I hope you feel better soon. I was saying that we're going to have a live on Saturday, but let me know, because I know you had to cancel with Becca because you weren't feeling well, but hopefully you're improving.
I think you and Danelle may have a spirit animal with regard to how their husbands cook. Danelle said her husband's an amazing cook, but the kitchen looks like it's exploded when he cooks big meals.
He goes crazy because, okay, so he goes in there and... I have to tell you, I didn't tell you what Lorelai said, but it was so funny. But it's like stuff everywhere. Like when he seasons something, he seasons the counter, the floor, the dog. Everything gets seasoned. And it's just, so I'll go in because I can't handle, like the one place in our house that has to be clean is the kitchen. I can't start cooking in there if it's a mess. I'll do all the dishes first. It has to be clean. And he is just stuff everywhere, and it's crazy. And I'll start cleaning up after him, and I'll start washing a spatula. He sits down and he's like, "Where's my spatula?" I'm like, "I already cleaned that." He's like, "I was still using it." I'm like, "I haven't seen you touch that thing in 10 minutes. It's getting cleaned." But this morning, when me and Lorelai were taking the orders, she was like, I asked her what she had for breakfast, and she was like, I just cut up some fruit and got out of there because it was getting messy in the kitchen. She's like, it was driving me crazy. She's like, Dad cracked his eggs to make eggs and set the shells in the carton and just left the carton there.
I wasn't done cooking. So when I make eggs, and I know this will be an unpopular opinion, when I make eggs, I made scrambled eggs this morning. I need my scrambled eggs wet and runny, and so
they just only lightly touch heat.
They only cook for 30 to 40 seconds, and so yeah, when I crack the eggshells and I start cooking my eggs, like I'm not doing anything else until those eggs, because if they overcook, I'm not going to eat them. The dog will get them. So I don't have time to sit there and watch my eggs cook, or leave my eggs so I can throw stuff away, because by the time I get back, they're overcooked. So, yeah, I love the eggshells. It was an empty egg carton. That's why I put them in there. Usually I won't put them back in the egg carton if they're there's other eggs in there. But no, that's just how it is. Plus, if I'm cooking, I want to cook. I enjoy the process, and then I want to eat. I don't want to clean up as I go, because it's like then I don't enjoy the process of cooking.
She was like, do you always have to go in there and clean after him, or does he come back and clean it? I was like, it just depends on if
Yeah.
I get in there first. If I get there first, it gets cleaned because it has to if I see it. But sometimes if I'm out doing something, he'll clean it after he's done eating. It's not like he doesn't clean up after himself. It's just not in the time period I would want it done.
Yeah, so to be fair, our kitchen is always clean. It's just while I am cooking, it looks chaotic. But I won't start cooking in a kitchen that isn't clean. Like, I'll have to fix everything and clean it up because I'm going to need all the space.
Yeah.
That's just honestly the case. Yes, I'm with Sean. That's exactly right. I'll clean up at some point, but I want to finish cooking. I want to enjoy the cooking experience, and then I want to eat. And then when I'm done, I'll clean up. But doing it while I do it, that's just not a thing.
So this one was funny too. When we were, what were you making? I think it was a pasta sauce. This is how wild he gets. There was like some up on the fridge, which is a good 3 feet away from that.
To be fair, it is absolutely true. The other day I'm cleaning the cabinets, and there's like, I'm not even joking, there's stuff that's like 9 feet away, 9 feet in the air. And I have no idea where this came from. I don't think it was me because it was brown and I don't make, I can't.
No, it
I have
was
not
pasta sauce.
But I don't use pasta sauce, so it couldn't have been
because it
me.
was a while ago. It was before. Because
No,
you
but,
make it fresh.
I do, but that was brown. It was not it was not me. I will to this day say that. However, whatever that was got up there was not me. So yeah. Now look, I get it. The way I like eggs is very different than most people, but they're so good.
It's okay. Whose method is it? So if anybody wants,
it's a Gordon Ramsay method.
He always adjusts it to suit himself, like whatever he flavors it with. But.
Yeah, it's great. You put whatever you're gonna cook your eggs with. I use butter because it makes the most sense to me. You put butter in there, you let it melt a little, you throw your eggs in there, and you just continuously stir everything until it's cooked to your liking. And for me, that's 30 to 40 seconds. That's how I like my eggs. I think they're the best that way. And it's delicious.
Jackie, he does that too. He just throws the shells in the sink a lot. The only reason he put them back in the carton was because they were the last eggs.
Yeah, and I was going to throw the carton away anyway, so it just made a lot more sense. Sean, there's something wrong with you. No, I don't put ketchup on my eggs unless I'm making like my own little McMuffin type thing where I've got my English muffin. And then I'll put maybe some ham or something on there, and then my eggs, and then I'll put the ketchup on it. But if I'm eating eggs by themselves, then I don't put anything else on them.
Hunter likes ketchup on his eggs.
He does. Salsa's another good one. I love salsa on eggs because it's delicious. I love salsa, though. I can drink salsa and be fine. Only version of eggs I don't like is when you make hollandaise sauce on a poached egg. I love hollandaise on a poached egg. I love eggs Benedict.
Hunter loves a hollandaise too.
Oh no, pineapple on pizza, Sean, is like one of the greatest inventions on the planet. I will also tell you, fresh avocado on pizza sounds weird. But I had it once on a whim because I was just like, I'm really hungry, and my friend and I think it was a group of us, and we got a pizza because we were broke college kids. We got like one large pizza for 4 people, and I was like, well, look, there's an avocado. I'm gonna just put some on my pizza so I can have more food, and it was the greatest thing I've ever done. So big fan of avocado on pizza as well. But you put it on after it's cooked because I can't do warm avocado. I tried once; it was disgusting. It's got to be, sliced avocado. Then you put it on the pizza after it's been cooked. Let's see. So question 3. Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that have like not weird, but texture issues with eggs, whether they're poached or scrambled or over easy. I don't have any texture issues with food, so it's never been a problem for me. But like one of my best friends doesn't eat eggs because of a texture issue.
I don't do the runny yolk. So any of those that have a runny yolk is not going to happen for me.
Yeah. Welcome, Marie. Nice to see you. So here's our third question, and this is I'm really interested in. So my wife and I have talked about it before. We watch movies more than we watch TV shows, and there are some movies that that you can just watch literally every day if you had to. So one of our questions today is, what movie is it for you that you could just watch over and over and over again? I think for you, wife, it's Happiness for Beginners right now.
Yeah. So I go through phases right now. I watch that movie pretty much all the time when I'm up here. I put it on. If I'm not filming or doing something like that. And then before that, it was Love Guaranteed. I watched that over and over and over. And I went through a phase with Dirty Dancing where I watched that over and over. So I'll wear one out and probably never watch it again for a few years and then cycle them back through. Oh, I love Twister. I really like that movie.
Love Actually, Lindsay. Great movie. I love that movie. I don't think you like it as much as I do.
I like it. I don't like it as much as you do, though.
Sean, that's a good one. Back to the Future trilogy.
Oh, yeah. We watch those a lot.
I love watching that a lot. Twister. That's fun. I like Twister, but it's not... I don't think it's a movie I can watch over and over
I like
again.
it. I probably could. It's probably has been one of my cycle. I love when just a lot of the things in it.
Yeah.
We've got cows.
Yeah. I've got to go. We've got cows. So Charlotte, that's my movie, Princess Bride. I could watch that movie over and over.
And that's one you didn't want to watch too.
You're right. It's a movie that she turned me on to. I was like, no, I don't want to watch it because I don't like the name. And then we watched it. I'm like, this is the greatest movie ever.
The Proposal. Yep, I could watch that.
Proposal is another good one. I love that movie. Harry Potter's another one too. I can watch the entire trilogy. There's just obviously some movies I like better than others. So I don't know if I could say that I can watch them every day, just because like the fifth one I don't like. I mean, it's a necessary evil, but I just don't like it.
So I cannot with Grease because my sister watched that movie over and over when we were younger.
Open Range, man, I haven't seen that movie forever. I remember seeing it when it came in the theater.
My sister would watch Grease over and over and over, and then The Labyrinth over and over. Somebody just said that one too.
I think, I don't remember. Maybe I didn't see Open Range. I'm trying to, because Brian and I we watched it together. It may have been, we got it on DVD or something. But
I don't even know what that is.
It's like Kevin Costner, Robert Duvall. It's a long movie, but it's really good.
I have to be playing Bob and Chicken right now because I feel like I've quilted so much.
You're doing what now?
Bob and Chicken.
What is that?
It's like where you're gonna run out of bobbin thread.
Oh, I see. I was thinking like Bob, the name Bob and Chicken. I'm like, what is this?
You're like, we need to go. My wife's having some issues.
Yeah, Princess Bride, great movie. Lord of the Rings. Hate me, I apologize. I can't deal with the Lord of the Rings movies. I didn't
understand them. They made me feel really dumb.
I just don't. To me, they're just not good movies. That's me. And I love Sean Astin, so I feel bad about that. But the Breakup's a good one.
I used to watch The Goonies over and over.
I love that movie. Ghost. I think Ghost is a great movie, but that's not a movie I could watch over and over. I could watch it once a year, maybe.
Ooh, I love Runaway Bride.
You also love Hunger Games, Siberian Wind, just Hunger Games.
I do. I watch those a lot. Daughter likes those too.
Irish Sail Lady. Oh, no. So, I just made a new device for her to use because she was using her Flying Geese trim lock to do this, and I was like, look, I can do something better than that. So I made her a bigger version with lines on it so that she can measure out how far she wants her lines to be. So It's just a new thing I made for her. Judy, she does almost all of her quilting by sewing machine because we don't have a long arm. I think we've sent out a couple.
Yeah, I sent out 2. I think it was 2. Did I sent 2 to Maine, and I can't remember her name. She's the quilting is beautiful, and she was amazing to work with. If I can remember, I'll put it in a community post, her information, because she sent me pictures of thread when she got the quilts to like match it perfectly, and a bunch of different options that she thought would work well with quilting. And then there's a lady that lives in my neighborhood here that did quilting for me on another one. But usually I do a lot of it myself because it just costs a lot to send them out.
Yeah, aside from what you're paying the person to quilt, which again, they deserve everything they're being
definitely
charged. But like a quilt can cost $50 to send each way.
Yeah.
So it can definitely get expensive doing that. You're getting through
I know.
that
I'm
fast,
just.
babe.
I know.
You're having a grand old time. Did you check your bobbin?
No. I probably should. I don't know. Should I do one more or should I check it?
You're the one that was concerned about bobbin chicken. I love that phrase. I'm going to have to work that into my... I was going to have a conversation with somebody like, yeah, dude, why are you playing bobbin chicken? Look at me like I'm crazy.
I don't know. Should I go one more row, call it a night, and check it tomorrow, or should I quit while I'm ahead?
Do one more. Let's see how... That's famous last words, right? Famous.
So I get to blame you?
No, that's definitely not what I said. Oh, no, Donnell says check the bobbin. Like, all in caps. You may as well just do it.
Ugh. Donnell's no fun. She doesn't want to see me run.
She doesn't want to live on the edge.
It's getting pretty low.
Is there even anything on it?
Yeah, I can do one more.
Sean's like, one more row, live dangerously. Well, but how many more rows do you need to do, though?
Huh?
How many more rows do you need to do?
Oh, a few.
So why not?
But I'll do one more and then we'll wrap up on here because it's 8.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't realize what time that was.
I'll do one more that blame me if you want. I know, I should have just went for it. I felt like I've quilted so many rows though. I was like, I to be fair, I did put a new one in because I ran out on the other side. She has lost the last 3. Yeah. I usually do not win. So when I was quilting the other side, before I got on the live, I checked it because I knew I had to be getting close. And then I was like, oh, I have enough on here to do one more. But I was listening to something, and I did that one more, and then started the next one and ran out. And I was like, oh, I should have just changed it then.
Tracy says she also lost the bobbin chicken earlier. Siberian Wind. Yeah, I love making custom stuff because it means that I have to figure out how to make whatever it is, and I like figuring things like that out. So if you have an idea, email me at info@sobeitquilts.com and tell me whatever it is you want to tell me, and I'll figure it out. Or I'll tell you that I can't figure it out, but that's unlikely.
You had to say it. You're going to get some weird requests.
Look, it's part of the fun, though, right? Val, I'm sorry. You probably asked this earlier, and I forgot. She wants to know what stitch length you're using.
So mine is just under 3. If I go all the way up to 3 on this machine, I don't like the way it looks. It looks kind of wonky. So mine is like 1 click under 3.
And it's a Juki TL 2010Q. Because I don't know that all manufacturers
I don't
have
think
the
they're
same.
all the same,
Yeah.
but on this one, that's where I go.
Debbie says, can you use a ruler foot with that ruler?
Yes. I'll try to get a video showing it. I have a ruler foot, but it's the same thickness as as other rulers meant for ruler quilting. I want to try to design one for him to make that has like curves and stuff so you can do other designs with it, but I just haven't had time. Because I really like having the grip on these for when I'm doing that type of work.
Danelle, that's no problem. I've done it for others. All I need is an art file for your logo. And
oh, I ran out.
But you even checked it.
I think I actually, I don't think I put the bobbin in right.
Oh.
Because it looks like I didn't quilt any of that.
Oh,
I'm blaming you. No, it's right here. No, that's that thread.
Yeah, so Danelle, just email me what you want, and then if you've got an art file that I can use to work with, that's all I need.
For
she wants a quilt light with her logo
Donnell, because I was like, you already have Sean's.
Yes, I do have Sean's. That's true.
I know. I shouldn't have messed with it.
Yeah, Danelle's like, you should have listened to her. Although, to be fair, Danelle, she did open it up and look at it. She's just like, I think I can do it.
I just didn't put it in right.
Oh. You were trying to rush?
Yeah.
You're so silly. Oh, so
I'm committed to this row, so we're going to stay on a little bit longer.
My wife and kids, or actually I think it was my dog, bought me a dad jokes calendar. So every day I get a new dad joke.
Yeah, our dog gets him gifts.
Yeah,
so it was from him.
because he's the best dog ever. So anyway, there was one joke that stood out to me, and it's so. What is Christopher Walken's favorite Christmas song?
What?
Christopher Walken.
Usually I hear all these. How come you kept this one a secret?
I don't know.
So what is
Christopher Walken's favorite Christmas song?
I feel like this should be obvious, and I'm going to kick myself, but I do not know. But you should wait a minute to see if anybody wants to guess. Donnell, right? I think that, like, I'm not a night owl at all.
And we wake up early. Like, we wake up, I usually wake up between 4:30 and 5:30. And my wife's the same. So our day starts between 4:30 and 5:30, and so at 8 o'clock, it's like, hey, this is really late.
Yeah, Sean challenged me to run a half marathon this year, so I'm blaming him. So I've done 2 in the past when I was in better shape. So I've been trying to go for longer walks than I normally do, and trying to jog a little bit to work up to doing that again at the end of the year. I still need to find one.
Yeah. So Terry got it right. It's Walking in a Winter Wonderland.
She looked it up.
No. Although I like your guess, Danelle. Yeah, it is good. I forgot what the one for today. Oh, I emailed you guys or texted everybody the one from today.
Yeah, he texts them to us normally, and if we all just look at it and don't react, he gets upset. So me and my daughter both sent him like
laughing
memes
emoji.
back that were laughing extra hard.
So here's the one from today, which is, and I'm typing it so that everyone can see it in the chat in case they can't hear. Which is the sleepiest fruit? So Terry wants you to know she did not look it up.
I know, I was just messing. I knew it had, like, that made perfect sense after you, because I knew it had to have something with walking in it, but I could not think of any.
You're not allowed to answer which is the sleepiest fruit because you know the answer.
Yeah,
because I told you
that
already.
Was just this morning. That's the one I remember.
So I know you fixed the bobbin, but did you put more thread in it?
No. Why would I do that? I have. I thought I refilled one earlier. No, I didn't.
No.
Looks like I'm making it though.
Okay.
It's gonna be like like a little bit from the edge. So I just have a few to do tomorrow, and then I'll have this one quilted.
Awesome.
Just a tiny little bit. So we'll do your joke, and then we'll go to bed.
Yes.
I love these gloves for real, though.
I know, they're so nice.
I think that's what, because I told you that they look like they would work good for quilting, and you went and found those because you liked them, because you had them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're great. They last forever. They're like I said, breathable, and they have that nice grip on them so that you're not, struggling with everything you're trying to get done. And they're cheap. I mean, they're $6, but they're cheaper than just quote unquote quilting gloves. So the sleepiest fruit is a napricot.
Knee slapper, as Lorelai would say. I think Hunter just ignores your jokes now in the chat. I almost feel like I just want to finish it, but I know like I'm too tired, and it's just gonna get really wonky.
Yeah.
But I just have probably like 4 or 5 more rows of stitches, and that's it. And then I can bind it. I have the binding cut for this one already, and for 3 others. So tomorrow might be my binding day, where I get all those bound.
Charlotte said groan. It's a dad joke. It's not supposed to be... It's supposed to be groan worthy. That's kind of the whole point.
Some of them are funny, though.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. She tried asking her husband. All right, everyone. It was grand to speak with you all again.
Yeah,
had a great time.
This is so fun.
This is again one of my favorite parts of the week. And we're all halfway there, so that's good. I guess Sean, I will probably I will not be on with my wife, but I will be in the chat. Maybe I'll come by and say hi for a minute. I feel like I've got something to do this week. Oh, it's football. But football won't be on that early, but that's fine. I'll still come by and say hi. What is Zucchini's favorite game? Oh, I gotta figure this one out.
Zocker?
What is Zucchini's favorite game? I'm gonna have to figure this one out. Zucchini's favorite game.
I don't know.
I'm so tired. But I do want to know the answer, Val, so please let us know.
Ooh, binding on 3 quilts today. That's awesome, Charlene. That's hopefully going to be me tomorrow unless something else comes up, which always happens. So,
yeah.
I don't think I had anything. Yeah, because you had to go end up going somewhere you didn't plan a day. I do have to take orders tomorrow, but I haven't had to drive in forever because Lorelai's been driving me to all those places.
Squash. That's genius. I love squash. I actually don't like squash. I like racquetball, but...
that is a good one.
Guess who wants to know if you have a video making 3.5 half square triangles?
I think I do. I will try. After we get off here, I'll try to find it and I'll post it. If you're in the Facebook group, I'll post it there, or I'll post it as a community post. But I think I do. The 8 or 6. I do not have one doing them that way. I can try to figure it out, though. I always just do 2 at a time, but I can try and figure it out.
All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a wonderful week, a good weekend. Go Lions this weekend. If you watch football, we want the Lions to win, so let's make that happen. Otherwise, I guess we'll talk to you next Wednesday, and I look forward to talking with you then.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for hanging out with us while I got a bunch of this quilting done on here. So hopefully get it bound up and y'all can see it when I post the update video at the end of the month. So everyone have a good night or morning wherever you are.
Yeah.
Bye. See you next Wednesday.